Is your mustache blue, Shaylee?
No,
No?
it's gray.
He just had Kool-Aid before we started.
Yeah,
Some
I drank. I ate a bomb pop, and I started at the bottom.
it's like my
It's so rare that we start off with the safe word in the first minute. Blue mustache. Blue mustache.
It's like my favorite episode of Cops when they're huffing paint behind the dumpster. And are you guys huffing paint? No, I'm not.
That's a hard one to hide.
Yeah. Well, you got to keep your face out of it.
That's
I don't
You got
know.
no
a lot of
socks.
Yeah.
You got no socks on, and the socks in your hands have silver paint on them.
Remember when we thought, well, at least that show aired, they thought like cops are heroes.
Mhm.
Turns out not so much all the time.
Yeah,
But
it's
at
a
least
little
that-
different when you're seeing body cams on all the cops, not just
Yeah.
the handful that have passed through the producer's vetted
Right.
process.
It was pretty funny that they stopped those shows because of the stuff that was starting to come out. Like, hold on, we don't want people to see this shit.
Mhm.
Shut that off.
Yeah, they were really fucking cliched episode. Like, I got into law enforcement. It would be cool if they just kept it going though, and like ran all the footage. Like, I got into law enforcement because I liked helping people. Freeze, motherfucker! Boom, boom. Helping people die.
I just like being part of the community.
Yeah. I've been, my dad was a cop, and I'm a cop, and we just love helping people. Like, get the fuck out of the road, bitch.
Hit the gas. You just
No
feel
editing.
the car bounce over some protesters.
Yeah, it's been a slow week that way, right? There hasn't been a publicized police shooting in over 4 or 5 days.
They're on their
Pretty
best.
good news day, though.
Yeah, Rummy checked out.
Yeah, that was the good side of the news. For every bad thing, there's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Rumsfeld kicked the
Donald
bucket.
Rumsfeld
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah,
Finally.
joined
only-
his soul in hell.
Yeah. It should have been by the hangman's noose at the Hague, but
Yeah.
God got him eventually.
Yeah. Well, you know how God treats war criminals. He lets them right on in.
Oh fuck yes, he does.
Heaven's full of war criminals. Hey, you know Hitler, don't you, Rumsfeld? No, we never crossed paths. Good to meet you, Hitler.
Yeah. You're a real go-getter. All right, cheers. Good to see you guys again.
Yeah. Got my
Dude.
Yeah, I've had a mixed day. What's the good news day you're talking about, Shaylee? If you didn't know,
Well, it's
Rumsfeld
not a
died.
good news day. The big news is
I'm
that
sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound that way. It's a good news day in that the news has a lot to report.
yeah.
It's not a slow news day. There's breaking news. I don't know a lot about it, Erickson. Why don't you chime in on this? Because I think you know
As we are recording this podcast on the last day of June in 2021, the year of our Lord, Bill Cosby is a free man walking around America. Conviction overturned. He didn't do it, according to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court.
Well, I thought
No, he
that he
can't
had
be
entered a deal that he couldn't be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah. Cosby's
What?
out, dude.
Huh.
How did you miss that? That's the bigger news than Rumsfeld.
That's the only thing.
I saw I was on Twitter, and when you see the names trending and you see like, oh man, I hope. And I saw Bill Cosby and Donald Rumsfeld both trending, and I'm like, this couldn't be that great of a day.
Oh, man.
It couldn't be that fucking perfect. And
You
no,
would bet your bottom dollar on that. That like,
It was-
he died in prison. There is a God.
I always thought Rumsfeld reminded me of Robert Culp too.
he's got a bit of a culp to him.
Yeah. So
The guy
But,
from Greatest American Hero.
yeah, he was also in a TV series with Cosby back in the day, and
That
Cosby
was I Spy.
I Spy, and Cosby referenced him in his Spanish fly bit, like Crazy Mary, and then Bob went down to Spain and like, did you get some of that Spanish fly, Bob?
Oh, So we're canceling Robert Culp too. Probably
Well,
also
he was canceled by the same thing that canceled Rumsfeld.
God.
Yeah, the
Life.
heart or whatever. But I assume Robert Culp isn't as despised as Rumsfeld.
Let's hope not.
But
So Andy, you didn't hear Bill Cosby's out of prison. He's free. And when I read this story, I was like, what in the fuck? Like it makes absolute perfect legal sense. There's really no way that he should be in prison the way this all played out, because he in 2004, when Andrea Costand, I think that's her name,
Yes.
accused him of rape, the DA decided not to prosecute, and that allowed. And this is the same DA who retired from being a DA outside of Philadelphia and went into private practice, and then represented Trump at his second impeachment trial. Bruce Castor. So Bruce Castor, as a DA, decides not to charge Cosby, and then by the time this comes out, everyone's going to know this, but decides not to charge Cosby, and then Barbara Costand ends up suing Cosby in civil court, and because he was not being charged criminally, Bill Cosby was compelled to testify. He was not able to waive his Fifth Amendment right to not incriminate himself, and then she won the civil case. She got some money from him, I think $3.3 million. But then later, when those depositions were released, they used some of that to reopen the case. And then they used Cosby's testimony in the civil suit as part of the prosecution's case against him, which they never should have gotten that testimony, because he would never have waived his Fifth
Amendment
right. So
pull your damn pants up.
There it is.
He's
it turns out there's rules, and these guys go to school for a long time to learn these rules in a way that makes it advantageous for whatever side they're on. What the fuck was this? This is, I mean, this is a miscarriage.
Yeah. What's really fucked up is that this is an example. In this case, letting Bill Cosby out of prison is an example of the system working fairly, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's because this fucking guy originally set up a no prosecution deal with Cosby. So then that compelled Cosby to testify, and then they kind of reneged on the deal. And
another attorney.
I doubt
years later.
He's going to get home and find out his wife got rid of his Quaaludes. Probably not a danger to anybody at this point, you know. I'm thinking maybe they do another. Well, they could do a show like Hacks with Cosby, like he's getting back into comedy. He was once a legend and had a little controversy.
Well, yeah. I thought the interesting story today that went along with that is that Bill Cosby, accused of raping 60 women, is out of prison in under 3 years. And Allison Mack of the NXIVM cult has just been sentenced to 3 years in prison for sexual assault. So it seems like to me that she maybe she should have drugged the women she raped. And then maybe that would have been a better deal.
Or maybe 3 is the magic number.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's pretty terrible optics, you know. I mean,
well, she
belongs in prison. I believe that, and I think 3 years is a good sentence. That seems fair enough to me. But to sentence her on the same day Cosby gets let go for raping 60 women. Yeah.
Well, he was only accused of one, right? Or I mean,
only tried. Yeah, I think they only charged him with the one, and then they let all the other women.
Do you think he'll try to do comedy again?
I hope so.
He's got a lot of material.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Prison food, am I right?
Yeah. Well, wasn't he sitting on a stool?
What's the deal?
Pudding. Yeah, there's no pudding pops, Bill. Now he can do the jokes that were made about him. That would be fun. sit down and do that for material. Well, I missed the news because I've been waging war with another delivery service. The FedEx has fucking. I ordered anyway. I don't like every time I ordered some shoes, and it took me a long time because it's like I have troubles and glitches, and then anyway the order went through and I got these shoes coming, and Tiger Asics, they're coming my way, and they were supposed to be here yesterday, but I did the tracking on it on Saturday. I think that's the day I talked to Brett. Maybe I had a cap or two, and
Here we go.
Before I went down the hill, my favorite restaurant / bar establishment, I started, tripping a bit, and then I checked the status of my shoe delivery, and I'm going to show you because you won't fucking believe this, where they were and where they still are.
Move it in Oh shit!
Look where they're at. Coquille, Oregon. My fucking shoes. These shoes got shipped from Mississippi to Coquille, Oregon, and there they stay. That's where the tracking ends.
So what's the problem?
They won't get it. They won't. It's still in transit. So every time
he doesn't live in Coquille.
But
they want you to go to your old house and pick them up.
Yeah, you put in the wrong address, mushroom head.
No, but I'm starting to trip, and I'm going, what? Coquille is not anywhere on any kind of trade route. There should be.
It certainly isn't bigger than Eugene.
Yeah, so that's what I thought, and then I was like,
Lewis
fucking.
And Clark went right past Coquille, never even saw it.
Yeah, no, the Indians had it and they held on to it and they didn't want them there. So I was like, no way. And then I was like, into that loop of like, how could this be? Was I that fucking dumb to put my old Coquille address? No, it just turns out that's where they're at. And so for the last since Saturday, I've checked the status and they're still in Coquille. So then I started making phone calls and it's a fucking nightmare. They like, repeat, well, you've just called here. Would you like to check on the status? Yes, I would. No, then it just goes right back to no changes. Like, and then I was like, motherfuckers, they're not supposed to be in Coquille, but the computer automated, they don't give a shit. So I finally talked to somebody and she was no help. I gave her a 3 on it out of 5.
Out of 5?
Yeah,
that's terrible.
That's so.
It's a 60.
But she said, Coquille. Yeah, mangle it up, but I specifically know how that word is pronounced. It's Coquille, and I don't want my shoes there. I had, I
they're
don't
gonna
want
get molested.
Yeah,
get them out of there right now.
They're gonna be full of sawdust.
Somebody has their dick
chip
in my shoe as we speak, man.
Right. Yeah, they're probably being used for bait for chumming some potential. So, like I had trouble with, I had shoes. I'd get new shoes in Coquille, and then that was the thing. You'd scuff up somebody's new shoes. I never did it because I had to get molested to get new shoes sometimes, and I wouldn't go around scuffing up people's shoes, knowing how hard it is to get the,
or what you had to pay.
Yeah.
You understand
the psychic damage.
The real carbon footprint cost of these shoes.
Exactly. So. Anyway, I called I got another rep on there and I go, why would my shoes be in Coquille? They're not supposed to be in Coquille. Well, that's where they're being held. I'm like, what? My shoes are being held in Coquille. Why? Explain that to me. And he goes, well, where you live in Eugene, they're behind schedule on deliveries. So, it's like...
Oh, it's a way station or a waypoint.
Yes, could you just drive them inland a little? Take them,
They're being held lovingly?
I don't know. But I don't think that, I'm expecting to go home and have Larry wearing them. Like, what the fuck?
Fell off the back of a truck.
We got him to the closest Andrist we could find.
Yeah. They've been held in Coquille since Saturday, and they're still there.
What if you would you offer to ease their burden by driving down to Coquille and retrieving them yourself?
I could probably. I don't want to even go down there, but it's like, and then I looked at the address of Coquille where the FedEx pickup is, and it's on the same street I lived. So I'm afraid if I go down there, they'll be in my old house. Like, mind
It's a
blown.
whole
Wait,
thing,
Or
dude.
it
Yeah.
just
That's
triggers
my-
a time loop and you're back in fucking time in
Right.
your old house.
Yeah.
Oh shit, no!
Yeah, so those shoes have spent more time in Coquille over the last 5 years than
Yeah.
I have.
You're like, why are these shoes size 7?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh,
They're like swirlies.
I gotta. Oh no! My teeth are gapped again.
And he still wants them. Those were mine. I still get them.
Yeah.
I'm not getting
so-
the car. I'll take the fucking Tiger Asics. Tiger.
Yeah,
Asics.
And then he looks over into the street and a van screeches up and the door slides open. It's Big Jim and the boys. Come on, quick.
yeah. Oh, we threw
Get
your
in, we'll
shoes up
explain
the-
later.
the shoes
No
are in a
time,
redwood
no time.
tree outside of your window. Big Jim.
Oh,
We're right in
man.
the finale of Andy's cartoon.
I'm telling you, this really should be an Adult Swim show.
Yeah, I still don't get it. Like Mississippi, I mean, maybe they're like the people in Mississippi are like, well, send them out to Coquille. They're as dumb as we are. And so my shoes
Well, I
are.
mean, Andy, they
But-
came from Mississippi. That was
No.
the origin, correct?
yeah, Coquille's not anywhere where they should be. Like Mississippi.
So what Andy's
believe
saying,
that's
Greg,
east
But
of
is
it's
that
closer than Gulfport.
Coquille's
but what
west.
Andy's saying is that they sent them to the
They went 2
Mississippi
hours
of
out of their
Oregon
way.
Oh,
Yeah, Mississippi.
because that's the only people that they know and understand in
All right.
Oregon. Are the
Yeah.
the Coquille.
It's not what he said, but I get it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
That'll work.
Brett's picking up.
My
on that.
edible kicked in already.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah.
apparently.
So you don't want to, I mean, when you're just taking a leisure Saturday and having a couple of mushroom caps to relax, and all of a sudden I'm fucking having duress about my shoes being taken 2 hours east of here. There's no, or west of here. There's no, like, it makes no sense. There's no fucking,
That's got to be pretty fucking backed up in Eugene if it's
yeah.
faster
it's
to
like-
just park them to.
yeah.
Like they don't even have room in their warehouse at Eugene
I mean,
anymore. The boxes are
that's what
spilling
they're
out
trying
the
to-
door.
That's what they're claiming. It's like, so sorry, yeah, the tracking is accurate. They're still in Coquille. I know, dude, it's Coquille. It's Coquille, and I used to live there on the same street where my shoes are being held. And there's
Well,
no
then go
place.
pick them up. If you live on the same street,
That's
Yeah.
the
Just go
thing,
get 'em.
man.
If you live
To
here
trigger
in
the time
Coquille,
loop.
yeah.
It'll be at 37 South Baxter, and then my dad will be there. Oh, here's your shoes. Oh, thanks, Dad. Wait, what the fuck, man? So yeah, I don't get it. I'm still hopeful the shoes will arrive, but god damn it.
can I ask you who you purchased them from online?
The Tiger Company on
Oh.
let's see. Well, so they went from
That wasn't the question.
I know.
That
they were sent from Olive Branch, Mississippi.
Still not the question.
yeah.
Well, I can't
What
say-
company? What online
a
presence
Tiger.
did you?
Well, Tiger. I
Tigra.
bought them directly from the Tiger, but
Yeah.
onto Sako.
Wish.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to avoid saying the goddamn Japanese name wrong.
Don't say it.
Yeah, so they went from
Coquille?
Mississippi to New England to Colville, Utah to Coquille, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I can only assume every town is full of fucking dullards and child rapists. They're following that trade. They're following a sex trade route.
Silk Road.
Yeah, I just want my fucking shoes, man. And then today I got I got a message from my banks, and remember about a year ago in the summer where there was some fucking online entity that I joined up and then tried to cancel. It was just something that was not useful. It was like fucking way to get your pictures off the fucking photo bucket or some fucking dumb shit like that. And I
Photo
canceled it.
bucket was a thing, though.
Right, but to get
Yeah.
your pictures, it was some sketchy fucking thing, and I signed up for it, and then I either forgot to cancel, or anyway. So the thing, they gave me the money. I argued about it. They gave me put the money back in my account, and then a year later they take it back out and say I lost on appeal because I didn't have any evidence. So that's why I didn't know about it. OJ, I was fired off a letter to the bank saying I've been a customer for 30 years and I've held a balance of $30 about on average in my account. 20 some years, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard back from them, but I said basically, you guys helped a scam organization. It's like if I came into the bank and robbed you, or if somebody came into the bank and robbed you, and I just drove the car to get away from it. That's what my bank did to me. They helped us. Somebody robbed me.
How did you even know that they were appealing? There was an appeal to this
I went
decision
in
to
there. I
give
had
your
to
money
go in a
back?
couple times and talk to them, and they were like, "Well, do you have any evidence of you canceling it?" Like, it's all cyber, bro.
Yeah. I have somebody film me every time I fucking cancel something, so that just for this situation.
Onto
Andy,
Suka.
Andy,
Onto
you got to
Suka.
do a blanket. You got to do a blanket. Don't sign up for anything.
Yeah, and
Don't
that's when.
change your
And then
phone service. Don't sign up for
those
a new
fucking
club.
cunts, because it was a Amazon associate, because I signed up with Amazon. Then all this fucking information, because I changed my bank card so they couldn't charge me, and then I got on Amazon, and Amazon's like, "Oh, welcome aboard. We're going to go ahead and get that information to this fucking predatory company." And so it's been going on all this time.
Amazon owns Photo Bucket, I believe.
Yeah. Amazon owns the bank. Amazon
Yeah.
owns Earth.
So Bezos took $200 and some from my account, which I want to thank Matt Spears, who sent me money for from Amsterdam, for apparently he just said celebrate. I thought I was going to have to put like 12 shirts in an envelope and send them off. But so that, losing 200, I'm up 300, it's like, God damn it, though. It's like, fucking give me a fucking break and give me my fucking shoes. I just want my shoes, I didn't need those shoes, but I want them. And now I'm not, fucking they're in Kokio.
It's exciting. It's exciting when a package is coming your way. I have sunglasses on the way that I bought from China for like $1 that I'm very excited about. And maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't. But every day I think about them.
I'm curious, Andy. Are you more upset that the shoes aren't there yet, or that they're stuck in Coquille? Which part bothers you? Like, if they were just stuck in Ohio still, would you be like, all right?
It's like a loop I get stuck in, but the loop is like, why are they in Coquille? This makes no sense. They should not be in Coquille, but now they won't leave Coquille. So it's like,
if it was any other town in Oregon, it would be cool. It's just
if
that
it made
Coquille
sense
is what
in a
it's
travel
stuck in your
hub kind
craw.
of way. Like Coos Bay would make sense because there's an airport there. But Coquille, it's like you went from, if they did land in Coos Bay for some reason, and then they drove them 20 miles away to Coquille.
Out into the woods.
The only reason they would go
at a logging camp.
The only reason you'd go from Coos Bay to Coquille in some sort of logical shipping situation is if you got arrested for drunk driving. And then they'll take you over to Coquille.
Don't rule that out.
Andy, probably what
happened to the Fed.
What happened is probably that your shoes got mixed up with a shipment of shoes that were going to pay for children's molestation in Coquille. And now they've been caught up and they got to get sorted out.
There was a
Bill's place.
Well, up from Bill's place is we used to, the one place in Coquille where you'd get shoes was Bob Taylor's Sporting Goods store, and he was a throwback, and but he wouldn't like, we wanted the Brooks shoes, those Brooks ones that were out in the day, and he would always say he was getting a shipment in until like come back, and they would most likely never arrive there. Just like now, I think my shoes are at Bob Taylor's Sporting Goods, which is now a museum. So Bob Taylor's long dead. But Bob Taylor was one of the better tennis players in town, and he was the first one who challenged me in the tennis club. And I didn't know how to take it, an older man challenging me without any sexual overtones or whatever. But Bob Taylor knew that he would challenge me, and I would forfeit, so he could move up the rankings. But anyway, he never had any I never saw a shipment truck to his place. So it's like, it's this fucking Bermuda Triangle of sporting goods, and my shoes fucking 30 years later are in this fucking loop.
I think Chad's right. I think this is a sweater thread that we can pull on, and the whole thing's going to come apart. It sounds like something fishy is going on.
I figured it out, guys. I figured it out. The straightest, the most direct route from Mississippi to Eugene goes up the 5 to Coquille, which is a stop south of Eugene. So maybe the guy got maybe got a drunk driving in Winston, or maybe headed towards Coos
But
Bay.
but the
Canyonville. Maybe
is,
there was a special at the
We
Golden
need to put the
Corral.
map up.
yeah, no,
Shirley, can you
Highway
put the map
42
up
is
behind me?
I'll
Coquille.
try.
You got to
Maybe
go
he picked
to
up a
Rose.
hitchhiker who was too
You got to
young
go
in
to
Coquille
Roseburg,
and got to
Oregon to
jail.
get. You got to go to Roseburg to get to the freeway. Coquille is.
Yeah, but he might have had problem right before Roseburg, or maybe.
How about this? What about this as an answer? Maybe the facility is actually out near the interstate, but it's listed as Coquille as an address, and it's not actually in Coquille, but for the answer for the form, it's Coquille.
Maybe
Is that
they're
possible?
maybe they're being held at coast to coast because I changed the price tag on that baseball mitt. Like, there's got to be some fucking.
They're
Karma
taking the cost of the
payback.
mitt out of the shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shipping away.
Does the name Bill Matlock ring a bell? Yeah, it does. You have a blue mitt in your possession?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it coming up now.
I think you should go check it out, Andy, just to make sure it's not a time loop. I think
Just to make sure it's not. Touch that pan on the fire just to make sure it's not hot.
Yeah, I'll get there and all my pubic hair will fall out, and I'll. I don't know what's going on here, man.
Yeah, but you would have all of your knowledge that you have now,
Oh,
so
man.
you could do it
man.
all over again.
Holy
much
shit!
better.
Would there be some fucking payback coming?
Some
Oh,
Kill Bill
man.
right
Oh
there.
yeah,
Oh.
That's the thing. Those shoes are the Kill Bill ones. They're the yellow
You gotta
and
have
black.
the shoes first. It's all
Yeah,
No.
that is.
I'm gonna
That's
wake up
it.
I'm gonna wake up in a fucking kids nursing home with spleen nursing me.
Order a big sword before you go.
Oh man.
I know where to get a
Imagine
bayonet.
the possibility. Sure, I'll come over and edit some videotape for you. Let's make an arrangement.
Yeah. I'm free that weekend. Why?
Yeah.
What do you eat, bro?
Some crocodile tears while you're out on the sidewalk. The house is in flames. I don't know what happened. My box is in there.
No. Yeah. Oh, you're checking the kids for wood chips? Now I'm gonna put a cord of wood up your asshole.
Andy, you got the ones from Kill Bill, huh? These
Mhm. Yeah.
sweet
And
shoes,
that company,
man.
Nice.
I'm bummed
They're
about
badass.
that company because I like those shoes and I've always liked those shoes, and they were like high dollar for me back in the day. But when I had a pair, I'd wear them forever, and then I would rip them up. I'd wear them until they started getting pretty worn out, but then I would like pry them apart and take them back to the sporting goods store in Coos Bay. But that was just so I didn't have to get raped every time. Like, take a
Oh, you
break.
get a refund, or you get
Yeah.
another pair.
It was like
Yeah.
they just come apart here. But then they got wise to it and they gave me shoe goo. They go, here's, and I had to buy
Wow.
shoe goo. That's not what I. But so that the company, anyway, they got a new CEO, and he's like, let's do all those retro shoes again.
Those
now
are
they're-
badass.
Yeah, I got those for under $100, but they're like most of their new Tigers are $150 to $140. So it's like, fuck, I like something because they were, they were hard to find, and they were old ones, or old school style. Now they're putting out a whole new line of these things. So now other assholes, I'll go. Everybody will be wearing them,
Yeah.
fuckers. Everybody except me, unless I go to.
Unless you go to Coquille.
But,
Everybody will be wearing yours.
I just want to talk to somebody out there in Coquille and say, how did this happen, man? Did you, is there, look over the hill at 37 South Baxter, and there's a doll. She was just tossed down there by a boy. I saw him do it. How do you know, sir? I saw him. It was me, God damn it.
So those are called the Mexico 66.
Yeah. Mexico.
Yellow and black, $99 or $95 at
Yep.
Did you buy it from Onitsuka?
Yeah, that's it.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
Asics Tigers.
But they were the third company I tried, because the other one that wouldn't accept my card or whatever, and it was like typing it incorrectly, and I would,
The other one is like, well, you're in a dispute with your bank over some charges, so we're not going to honor
Says
it.
here.
I'm starting to think that's what happened, because like I said, I got a donation, And so I'd try to order these shoes, and then I couldn't get, I could, for whatever reason, it wasn't working. And I tried 2 or 3 different companies, and then this one I used a different card, but I think what happened is the bank was waiting for me to put money in there to hit me with the bad news. So then I get a donation, and then I put that in there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, that balance went from that to that awful quick. What the fuck's going on? And then I saw that in my email that, oh, hey man, you lost. Like, bullshit, man. Don't you know? I mean, it was a year.
I lost what?
Yeah, I lost that other fucking dispute.
I know, but I mean, it doesn't sound like you were fully aware that this dispute was still happening.
I thought it had been settled, man.
You got the money. Why look into it further than that?
Well,
that's what I would think.
If they're going to do an appeal, then they should have contacted you a number of times to say, hey, this is what's going on. If you want to have it,
his mail's been all willy-nilly for a while.
Well, I'm also wondering how long.
Maybe Kevin got you in the end. He's been putting all the bank envelopes.
We talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't had any mail in a while. But he waved to me, and he also pops into the bar I go to. So if he happens to have a couple beers, gets behind the wheel of that thing, he's in trouble. It's fucking So I don't know.
Andy, I just kind of went through with this with a vendor. I bought something at the St. Louis Halloween show. I paid $500 for some sanitizer machines, and out of the box, they just don't work. And what happens is you contact the credit card company or you contact the bank and you go, hey, I'm not paying for this. This is bullshit or whatever. And then they go, okay, we'll refund your money. And then what they don't really impress upon you is they refunded your money, but we're going to look into it.
Right.
You should keep checking back. And what happens is you get lulled into this, it's done and dusted.
Cool.
Everything's fine. And then 3 months later, they send you one email that says, hold on, if you don't send us something back within 24 hours, we're going to have to give this to the claimant and not you. So,
yeah. And then it's like, did they show up to testify? This predatory fucking photo bucket go-between?
They've got an algorithm set up to show up to testify.
Yeah.
Right. The problem is that you're up against an algorithm and you'll never beat it.
And this thing either went on a year or I just didn't have a balance over $200 for a year, which is pretty possible. So Matthew Spears gives me a donation and I put that in the bank and they're like, okay, here we go. Write him the email. So I'm threatening to take my business to another bank, but I know that's going to be, I can't do that. That's fucking difficult and shit.
And they don't
like
care.
A bad marriage.
I don't know if you know this, but they don't care.
Yeah.
They're all in on it.
I know.
There are people leaving the bank you're going to. There are people leaving that bank and coming to the bank you're currently at. Yeah. So the bankers all know that. They don't give a shit.
I'm going to Wells Fargo. I'm tired of being ripped off by my bank.
Yeah, exactly. When Mitchell and I moved to California, we set up with Wells Fargo precisely because each of us had a particular reason we weren't going to go with Citibank or I can't even remember what the other ones were. Like they'd each individually fucked us over already. So we went with Wells Fargo because it was out west and we didn't have Wells Fargo in the Midwest. So they're the only. They hadn't fucked us over, but yet they are the most corrupt bank out there.
Only because WaFed was Washington Federal was gone. Or no, what was the one up north? Was it Washington Federal? There was another one that was the same thing. It's up in Seattle. I did the same thing. I go, oh, it sounds like it's a good bank. It's up in Seattle. Everyone's cool up here. Right? And they were fucking everyone over. They're not even around anymore. I can't remember the name of them.
I still have Wells Fargo. I've had it for quite a while because when I got out of the Army and I moved back home, I think we had like 3 banks in my little town, and 2 of them I found out while trying to open a bank account. I found out that my mom had opened up bank accounts in my name as a kid and bounced checks on them.
Really?
I was like, you fucking asshole. They're like, yeah, you can't have an account with us. And I'm like, fuck. So I had to go to
God.
Wells Fargo. It was the only one available to me. I still have
Yeah,
that piece of shit bank.
I think I was at this credit union in Coquille, and I lost interest in paying my credit card bills, and so I owed them for several years. 'Cause I didn't know this. Is like you have to pay interest on those. It's not just like I bought a round of drinks and everybody, let's all get Long Island iced teas. I got it. No, I'll leave it open and shit.
Your balance stays the same, but you accrue all that interest.
Right. And shouldn't somebody say, hey, we gave you $1,000 credit limit and you're spending way more than that. Tone it down, but they never said that. So I got into kind of credit trouble there. And but this time the bank's fucking me. But I just wish I would have enjoyed fucking the bank, because and then I didn't fuck the bank. I just thought I was fucking the bank. I was like, oh man, this is great. I'm not even supposed to have any more credit here. And they just kept giving us drinks. And eventually as they make you pay it back.
Yeah, it turns out I only read the headline of this story just the other day. There's a guy who the headline was a guy who had become a millionaire because of a bank error.
Yeah.
Was sentenced to prison. Like, he was like, oh, bank, like, okay, I'm a millionaire now. And he just didn't say anything. He did what you do, Andy. He just laid low, fucking played
Got
it
some
out.
shoes, ordered some shoes online.
Several pairs.
Bought a car to go down and get them.
Rented a helicopter to go get them.
Yeah. Yeah,
logically,
what's
they were
that
probably
movie?
Stuck in Coquille.
The Sunshine Boys, is it, where the old dudes go rob a bank? It's like they're just probably getting their surcharges back. It's not, at that point, the bank's robbed each and every person for their whole lifetime. It's like you should be able to walk in your 80s and put a gun in their face and, empty the fucking register.
Yeah.
I'm planning it. I got to wait till I'm, how old is
bankers are definitely the most corrupt profession, right? I mean, that's the highest one up. They're so corrupt, we don't even make fun of them like lawyers or politicians.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they
get to get out of sight right away.
Yeah.
You don't even know who they are.
Fucking low. You don't know who's like Jamie Dimon, who runs, I think, Citibank or one of them. I can't even remember what the names of the big banks are anymore. But he has been around forever. He definitely should be in prison. He should be in prison for the rest of his life. He has robbed more people than it's like bankers are like presidents. Barack Obama has murdered a bunch of people just by virtue of being president of the United States of America. Jamie Dimon has stolen money from countless people, millions and millions of dollars from millions of people just by running a bank. Every one of them, when they take the job, they should go to prison.
It's a sting operation.
Totally.
Yeah. So I got that guy, Erickson, you were talking about.
So I just texted Shaylee to find this guy on Twitter that I found a couple of weeks ago, Alex Schaefer. He paints banks. I think I mentioned this on here a couple weeks ago. He paints banks, but on fire. That's his entire thing that he does. He's an artist, and that's all he does different banks on fire in different directions. Sometimes it's night, sometimes it's a small bank, sometimes it's a big bank, but it's all banks on fire. And it's been very inspiring to me to look through his work.
He's like Banksy. Sometimes those puns work.
Good night, everybody. Show's over.
Don't forget the wait staff, because they're stealing from the club.
There it is. Look at that one. Wells Fargo on fire. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this years ago that there was a guy heckling the Wells Fargo float in the Eugene parade with "Banks steal money, know your enemy," and he was just a guy outside his old shitty truck and but old hippie. And I thought, what's his fucking problem? I should have joined in with him. Banks steal money. Also, where are my shoes? It does make sense now, but in the future.
You know what that picture's going for right now? Well, it sold today. The auction was today. The Wells Fargo on fire sold for $66,597.42.
And you know what else? Here's the thing, Shaylee. That's the NFT. That's
is that
not
what it
even
is?
a painting. He's doing his as non-fungible tokens. And
This guy's making banker money.
he is. And good for him.
Yeah.
Good for fucking him.
It's pretty meta if you think
I hope
about
he
it.
takes all the money and buries
Absolutely.
it in his backyard.
Oh my God, the winner, it was in Bitcoin. 190,000. Wait, I don't know how. 1.9 Bitcoin.
Ooh, that's good.
So the banks can't. Yeah, they can't. He's untouchable. He's set up a system that he can. That's what I need to do with my shoes.
Absolutely.
No, they did it with your shoes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, you didn't buy your shoes on the blockchain, dude, and that's what it is. See, the crypto, the blockchain, everybody knows what everyone else is doing. That's the appeal of it. Like, because nothing can happen in cryptocurrency unless all of the people who have no one can sell Bitcoin unless all the people who have Bitcoin approve the sale. So everybody knows where all the Bitcoin is at all times. It's not like money where you have books and people keep it and hoard it and you don't know how much someone has, and it's up to them to kind of tell you, and they can kind of so that's the whole appeal of it all. So I'm glad that if it works, we kind of don't need Wells Fargo. So I'm glad Alex Schaefer's taken his fucking money in Bitcoin. Good for him. I'm pulling for him.
Yeah, maybe
it would be kind of hypocritical if he took a check, right?
Right.
Takes it down to Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo.
Like,
hey, good to see you, Mr. Schaefer.
I got you on a list here.
It says in the memo section, Wells Fargo in flames.
Yeah. And the bank he's going into is the bank that he painted.
Yeah.
The bank that I was referencing earlier was Washington Mutual. They were fucking. I mean, Wells Fargo's as bad, but Washington Mutual went bankrupt. A bank that goes bankrupt.
Yeah, I had a savings account at Benjamin Franklin Bank in Coquille. That was my first bank, and I got a signed Blazer plaque. It wasn't signed by a copy. But I got that for starting an account.
Plaque. Was that your name? You used a fake name?
Portland Trail Blazers plaque.
Oh, the Portland Trail Blazers.
Oh. So I started in 1977.
Like bleeding
after they
a
won the
fucking
championship.
stone.
It means like a picture. They gave you a picture of the Portland Trail Blazers?
Laminated. It was a laminated
It's a premium when you open an account. That's how you would explain this next time at open mic.
Right. And I
got a Blazer plaque.
I went in there with $5 or $10 that I siphoned off of my paper route or whatever, and I put it in that account, and I never closed it. So what's the interest on that? But that company's like, how do I get my money out of Ben Franklin?
They probably set it up so you owe them. At some point, they started charging a fee for your account,
custodial
and then
fee.
it knocked down whatever you had in it, and then it just kept adding on.
And it's gone.
Turns out you owe them
one good thing about I don't worry about banks too much because I don't have any money. So to me, the bank is just kind of the coquille. Like my shoes are in the bank for a minute, but it's gonna be gone in another day anyway. You don't get a chance to take it back because it's not sitting in there. It's going to pay
any more money in my fuck my bank. They didn't do me any favors in the dispute, and then they just waited until my balance. I'm sure that's what happened.
Again, of course they did, because it's never in their benefit to do what's actually best. They make more money when you make poor choices.
Yeah.
So they're going to put the information out there, and it's up to you to pluck and cull from the information they give you what you're supposed to fucking do. And if you get it wrong at any step, well, you fucked up. You didn't sign your name on line 47. Clearly by
skew towards us.
Yeah, sorry. If you'd have signed it, if you'd have signed that email, we sent you an email 3 weeks ago. It went to your spam, but you didn't respond to it in 6 hours. So clearly, if you read the contract, it's in there that if you don't respond in this amount of time.
That's what happened.
Got you a financial lawyer. That's what we did. You should definitely just get you a lawyer here.
Yeah, financial
exactly.
lawyer gets a kid that fucking figures out how to actually direct fucking emails to go into the spam box.
Right.
Like
right.
that would be a fucking meeting that the bankers would go, what's our liability here? Hey, get Chad on the not Chad. I'm sorry, I said Chad. Your name. Get Bryce over here. We want to figure out what's our liability here. Is there going to be a problem?
It's one of the banker's kids. It's one of the banker's kids who's been laying around the house playing video games and fucking around all the time. And the old man is like, Bryce, you need to get a fucking job. I'm going to bring you down to the bank. You have to, and Bryce shows up and he's like, if you actually just press this button right here, you can make like $1 million more by fucking these guys over.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Bryce, everybody. And
you
Bryce
can siphon off the pennies in everybody's account and nobody will notice. It's just pennies.
Exactly.
I mean, that is a thing. These micro fucking payments that people take, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But when you look at this, because people think small, if you look at how many people that you can con in to giving you these little tiny payments, I mean, we're on Patreon. I mean,
how do we do it?
Just think micro.
Volume.
Yeah. It's like when you do your grocery shopping. Would you like to donate to this or donate to that? No. Round up, and then Crumble Cookie. Been getting into them cookies there. And they go, it's a $4 cookie, and they go, would you like to leave a tip? All right. And then it's like, now it's a $5 cookie. So it's not worth it now. The $5. I actually gave them I did that with cash. So, well, not for a fucking cookie. They make a whole bunch of them.
That's a boutique cookie store, Andy.
Yeah. But what if I get them
the fucking Safeway?
Like 25 cents.
They're assuming if you can spend $4 on a cookie, you can afford a tip. I think is the general business idea of this.
So I went in there the next time and I gave them a $5 bill, thinking they won't ask for a tip on that because they do it on the credit card. And they go, would you like to leave a tip? And I go, yeah, I guess so. And they go, how much? Oh, like, just take it all, man. Take the whole fucking Lincoln. Take it all. If I put it in the bank,
cookies, guys.
At least I got a cookie out of them.
I'm surprised there's not a maitre d' at the fucking entrance place.
Yeah. Would you like to use the restroom? And then here's some cologne.
Look at these fucking cookies.
Why are you buying these? Dude, you're the same guy who goes and gets the day-old fucking bakery donuts, and then you're going to Crumble to spend $5 on a cookie?
I'm surprised it's only $5. Look at the lemon icing on that motherfucker.
I'm starting to develop a weight problem.
This is karma telling you to go back to your day-olds, man. You had a good system going. You'd show up, you'd get the day-olds, pay a cheap price, say hello to the gal there.
I don't share them.
Okay, stay away from this whole Crumble cookies, man. That's it.
Yeah, it's a new fad, but there's nobody there. It's a small, but when I go to McDonald's, and I don't go there often, but I'll go if they have $1 sodas, so I'll get a soda there, but only if there's no other cars or there's less than 3. But they're usually like a fucking 10 cars in there. Whenever I'm
you talking about the drive-through?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get something at the drive-through. Oh, here's all these motherfuckers, and it gives me. I'll drive off going, you fucking pigs need hamburgers at 3 in the afternoon.
But you're one of the motherfuckers.
Well,
and we had to go to it,
and I get a medium soda.
We went through a drive-through a little while back with the grandkids and get something, and I was so happy because it was empty. Like you said, I was like, all right, there's no fucking line. And as soon as I ordered it, after they paid the second window, you pull up to get your food, and they gave me a number and told me to go park in the parking lot with a bunch of other motherfuckers waiting in the car. I was like, oh, you sneaky son of a bitch.
Yeah. I think you motherfuckers forgot the word through. This is a drive-through, not a drive-stop.
Not a drive-stop.
Yeah. It's a drive-in. Yeah.
There you go. That's
when I get the one that's closest to me, you can go in from the back or the front, and then it's like, I'll get there and there's like some dumb motherfucker doing exactly the same.
You can't go through a drive-through from the back or the front.
Well,
There's
no,
only one
well,
direction
you
to a
get
drive-through.
to the drive-through, but there you can
Thank
Oh,
directionally.
from two ways in the
So,
parking lot
yeah,
to
it's
get
like,
there.
there's a rhyme and reason to, like, if that car is going that way, but it's like we got there at the same time and then they pull in. It's like, all right, I guess I won't have a fucking hamburger, you fat fuck. And it doesn't matter. I'll just drive off. Like, I just,
What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
Because you didn't beat
yeah,
him to the
give up.
fucking spot.
yeah. It's like, I'm
What
not
do you-
going to do it now. And
What
I
if
hope you
he's just
enjoy it,
getting
you
a
glutton.
$1
You
soda?
fucking glutton motherfucker. Enjoy it. But here's why, another reason you can, I mean, I'm not promoting McDonald's, but they have bags of ice. You can get a bag of ice. When it was
Yep.
115 degrees the other day, I went there to get ice, and there was 4 fucking cars. But I was like, all right, I'll do it. And I'm thinking it won't be that long. But it's like, the car in front of me, like, what, you need 2 bags of fucking food and 3 sodas? There's one person, you fucking mother. I don't even look at them. It's like,
What if that guy's taken his 3 bags of food and his sodas to the park to give to the homeless people who are camped there, because all they've been getting are tuna fish sandwiches from the local, and they just want a fucking cheeseburger. I mean, you don't know why these people are buying these hamburgers, Andy. You're in
They're
line too.
gluttons.
You can't
This is a
assume that
fucking country of glutton fat pigs, and
fake.
I'm not even talking weight. I don't
You're-
know. I don't look at them to go, oh yeah, a fat fuck. I just see their car and go, you fucking glutton motherfucker, and then I drive off. I'm not having a treat now, and it's not a treat anyway. We have company up there, and I just hear them shuffling a chair out of the hate zone.
Uh,
We'll have to warn
still
them off.
have you still have track athletes staying with you?
Yep, a different one. But
Yeah.
the,
What sport? You don't have to get too detailed if you don't.
it's it's a management, like track talent agency. Like there's a high school meet in town, a big national meet that was supposed to be out in Georgia.
uh-huh.
So that's what's going on. But yep.
All right.
So, yeah, but I like
Are
that.
the
Discus thrower
college
was cool.
college is done there?
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago before the Olympic trials. And the dude who was here, he mentioned he liked comedy, and I gave him my CD, and he liked that, and he also liked my comedy special, which he bought.
Nice.
I gave him a little sample, and then go, oh, by the way, this dropped too. But he gave me good he said he liked he goes, I like that line you said about William Howard Taft was in the Supreme Court, and I'm like, I did. I don't. It's like I thought it was just in my.
That
head.
was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite moments of the special, Andy. Honestly, because spoiler alert: at one point when Andy's talking about William Howard Taft, he goes, oh, and William Howard Taft was the only president to also be on the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
Wait, I'm doing it. William Howard Taft was the only president to also be on the Supreme Court. Like everyone was just like, okay, and then you just made this little like, I don't know, and it was fucking adorable. It was my favorite moment of the whole special. So I understand why that guy said that. It was funny.
He didn't make it. Well, he made it to the semis, and then he didn't qualify for the Olympic team. I was like, man, I was going to ride his coattails and then up the price of our room up there. Because it's like if you sire, if your horse wins the Kentucky Derby, well, this guy stayed at our Airbnb and made the Olympic team, but he did not.
You could use it to advertise, like
to raise the rate.
Like William Taft stay
where Olympians stay. Yeah, William Howard Taft. His Supreme Court robe was here.
So you could have them stay in the Olympic suite.
Yeah, the Olympic suite. Would you like to stay in the William Howard Taft room? The big tub. We got a big tub there. Because he was the one who got stuck in the tub, man. Right? If I know my history, and I don't.
Everything I know about William Howard Taft, I learned during watching Last Shot by Andy.
Yeah. Brendan Walsh is a George Washington expert. I'm a William Howard Taft. My kid used to have these. At the Montessori she went to, she had these trivia cards on presidents, and one time she goes, "Did you know that Chester Arthur had 87 pairs of pants?" No, I didn't. I had no idea. And she's like, it does seem excessive.
Wait, was Chester Arthur a president?
I think so.
For like a week.
Yeah, he had 87. You know, I guess he, had other things
Got
to
more
do.
pairs of pants than he has days as president.
Yeah,
I think he
he's
was
more
one
of
of
a
the
clothes horse.
How did Wilford Brimley not do the William Howard Taft story? And is it too late? Yeah, I think
the
Wilford
answer to
Brimley
that is there has been no William Howard Taft story.
Ned Beatty got a serious look for it. He took Deliverance instead. He wanted to do more serious roles.
William Howard Taft story went straight to Broadway, right to the stage.
I don't. That's Chester Arthur? Yeah, look at him.
That's Chester Arthur.
Yeah, you can tell he's like looking at pants right there, going, yeah, yep.
His eyes are
I'll
down.
take that pair. Yep, I can't.
He
decide.
looks
I
like a
guess
guy
I'll take
whose
them
weight fluctuated. Maybe he had a lot of different size pants.
Yeah.
Don't judge
Almost
the
looks
guy.
like William Taft,
all. Wow.
but
Yeah.
with facial hair, with like more.
Yeah, it looks like Taft's son.
I don't
Yeah.
think we'll ever have a president with funky facial hair like that again.
Wouldn't it be great if we got one with like a shitty
Sam
like,
Elliott
goatee that is like should be wearing an Ed Hardy shirt.
I would like to see Sam Elliott run.
Yeah, that would be cool.
He's
Based
got
on his mustache.
Yeah. He shows up in Eugene occasionally. He has his parents live near here. I might go shoe shopping with him if I ever run into him. Hey, dude. How'd you get your shoes, dude?
Oh, shit.
I just watched the Roadhouse, which Sam Elliott was very good in. The Roadhouse, one of the dumbest movies ever made.
Definitely.
The evil guy in that town, he's like bragging about his
Isn't that
accomplishments.
one of the guys from 1 Adam 12?
It is.
No,
we circled around this, I think, at one point on this podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm not calling it out like we're repeating ourselves.
Man.
That was Randolph Mantooth from Squad 51.
But
and it's just one of the greatest names of
Not
all
Squad
time.
51.
Randolph Mantooth is
1 Adam 12, motherfucker. Wasn't he in 1 Adam 12?
I thought he was. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
I think it's the guy from Squad 51.
But he wasn't the villain in it.
No, you're thinking of the wrong guy. Randolph Mantooth was in Emergency, and he was the skinny guy. It's the other guy that you're talking about. Because I'll pull it up. Go ahead.
That's the other guy from Adam 12, but the villain in Roadhouse was Randolph Mantooth.
Yeah, and Mantooth was one of
talking about Kevin Ty.
He was bragging on his accomplishments in town. He was like, "I brought J.C. Penney's to town." Like, that's not really a thing, man. But and I know I talked about this before. Is okay. The beginning of that movie, there's a guy, and he goes, "So you want to feel my girlfriend up?" That's Chris Collins. That he was one of the first comedians I worked with, and then. What's the other part? Oh, and then when I went to the Eugene celebration and Jeff Healey was playing and I was up there and I lit a joint. And Jeff Healey's like, "Hey man, take it easy. There's kids here." Like you
can smell it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of connected to that movie. But
in your head.
But it's like, that's what Father's Day. You get that. They showed it for was he in 1 Adam 12?
Emergency.
Was there a crossover?
And his name, well, I don't know. I don't think they did that back then. 1 Adam 12 was a police show. Emergency was EMTs.
Yeah, paramedics.
1 Adam 12 was one of the reasons I went into law enforcement. And then Hill Street Blues cemented it. And then I took those classes, and then I was like, fuck this. I'm not going to be a cop. And I decided.
Law enforcement meaning you stole a security jacket?
Well, I mean, that was my major at community college, and or whatever major at community
stealing.
The criminal justice majors were the most fun students in college, for sure.
Yeah.
They were like they were the dudes who were borderline PE majors. Like they were either going to be cops or PE teachers. That's those
I fell through the cracks
to start with. They cleaved later.
Yeah. And I took those classes and then I just ran scams with all the brothers on campus. So I was like, well, maybe law enforcement ain't my thing. I connect well with everybody. Instead of feeling like shooting them or anything, I was like, let's go rip off the bookstore, guys. Yeah, that was a real loose ship, that, but like he ran that bar and he just like, it got out of hand there. you have to bring in a badass cooler. You got to go recruit a cooler. And who ran the bar while he was out of town? It's like, let's recruit Patrick Swayze. Man, it's just check IDs or some shit. You can't let. And then you got a blind band. And why was Jeff Healey they had a staff meeting and Jeff Healey was at the staff meeting. It's like you got the blind guitarist coming in to express concerns about security. Yeah, I see a lot of people coming in here that don't want
Even I can see the security around here is black.
Yeah, they say somebody's smoking weed out there. Knock it off. His family's here. Everybody I knew that was in that movie has since died. Well, I didn't know Jeff Healey, but Christopher Collins was he was also the voice of Mr. Burns and Moe in the first season of The Simpsons. But I think
Collins?
Yeah, Christopher Collins, and he also he had a lot of claims. He was on Seinfeld when Kramer won money at the horse track and then gets robbed on the subway. That was that dude. And that jacket, that leather jacket, that was my first road gig because he came down to Coos Bay and bagged some McDonald's eating cow and left his leather jacket. This leather jacket, he left it in the room. So he called me up, and I drove from Coos Bay to Salem with this guy's full-length leather jacket that he wore in Seinfeld. But then I went up, and he was like, he was real complimentary the night before. I think he was drinking. And then I think he was drinking and ended up bagging this. Yeah, there he is. And then I went to his room in Salem and knocked on the door, and he goes, "Come on in." And the door was ajar, and then there he's a big, fat, bloated, drunk-looking, hungover, and I thought, man, that'll never be me, will it? And he was complimentary, and then in Salem, I just bombed shit. I just ate shit. It was like the longest fucking 15 minutes or whatever. I think I only did. Well, I was supposed to do 15 minutes, and I probably did 15 minutes then because nobody shined a light. It's like if they would have shined a light, I would have walked off sooner. But it was like I remember that
never stopped you before.
Yeah.
It is amazing though that it really is that a lot of times your plan for stand-up comedy is to just talk until someone shines a light in your face and then stop. Mm-hmm. And if it's going poorly, any light you see will do.
Yeah, any light that flashes is the light that was meant to pull them off stage.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that for your special, you got Chad to give you the exact perfect right amount of cocaine that you actually focused and did a great fucking
medical
that was
use,
so good, man.
Medical use is all.
Absolutely. That was past performance enhancing, and that was performance saving.
Unlike that fictional character in Sam Tallent's book, I know how to handle my dope.
Oh,
right. You actually had an incident like that. The back of a semi, not the front. Well, I don't want to tip the story. So.
Oh, the collision? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just about, yeah. In fact, that was a night of doing a lot of drugs. Tipping over somebody's books. And okay,
right.
I guess that's not going to end up as a threesome. A lot of times when you think a threesome's going to happen, you end up alone in a cab.
Yeah. You're for sure always wrong. It happens so rarely that you can scientifically say you are for sure always wrong.
Yeah.
And if on the 1 in a billion chance the stars align and it happens, it still doesn't change the mathematical probabilities of being able to say that. It's not going to happen, guys.
And in my experience, most times that happens, Stanhope's in the room. So it's like, you do the math.
Wrong 3.
A little cock heavy.
Yeah. It doesn't always break down the way you want it to. Although I can tell you this, that's a lot more likely a way, it seems like.
I've joined the Mile High Club, but I flew solo, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I
the
had
Southwest flights, you can get the whole row to yourself sometimes.
I had a couple of friends when my kids were growing up. I didn't really have any friends, but I knew a guy from working as a mechanic and his girlfriend, and they'd invite me over sometimes to barbecue and stuff. And I'd go over and I'd get weed and stuff. I know a lot of people, and sometimes they'd be hanging out and they'd just be like in their underwear and stuff on the couch. And I always kind of got a vibe like they were hoping like a threesome. And I just pretend I just watch TV on the other couch and pretend I didn't notice what was happening. I smoke weed. Fucking, like, I don't want a threesome to happen with you guys at all. This is not the threesome.
I was so naive in the beginning of comedy, is like I didn't know what even swingers were. I just thought people like, wanted for some reason invite me to their hot tub. But Doug, I think Stanhope was like they're swingers. I like, what are I didn't know. Like, oh, yeah. Well, now that you got a hot tub, Chad, you can control the scene.
Absolutely.
You and the FedEx guy.
Yeah, you got.
I know what Chad's version of being a swinger is somebody mouths off and he pops him in the face. Oh, swinger.
Grabs him by the back of the head and puts him in the hot tub and holds him under the water and shakes him. Some of those.
If I would have had underwear on, I would have came out of that hot tub swinging. That's for sure.
Yeah. How do you know it's not my shoes being delivered? Oh, so the investigation is supposed to take like another week. Like they said
on the shoes.
Yeah, I reported the thing. It's like but then when I called, the other person told me that they're being held until Eugene. It's like, I'm gonna go drive around till I find a FedEx driver and go, step it up, bro. Do you need a line? Yeah. Do you need a bump? Just get this shit out.
Start helping him out.
Yeah, the willy-nilly guy do some of your work.
Andy actually goes down, gets a job at FedEx just to find out where his shoes are, finds his shoes, then quits.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I can be the lead
investigator. Leaves a whole truck full of shit.
Yeah. He's one of the one with his shoes on it. He was our best employee for like 18 hours.
Yeah.
Diligent. He stayed on that one case. Something wrong here. Looking at the clues. Well, when I had a pair of shoes, one of my shoes went missing at one of the Death Valley parties after I showed it to one Tom Rhodes. We were talking about the shoes, and I was going to wear them for the Down and Dirty taping. Mm-hmm. And
are they the Mexico 55s?
No, they were old school looking ones though. That's how I prepare for any. You said this.
Venture. You start your preparation for a show with the shoes. You work from the bottom up.
Right. So yeah, exactly. So I got these shoes and I showed Rhodes, and they were in the back of my car, and Rhodes saw them, and we talked about Nike, Phil Knight, and all that shit. And then my right shoe went missing. Like one of them was gone. There was still the left shoe, but one of them was gone. And I relentlessly hounded the suspect, Tom Rhodes. His version of it is he was tripping and I was ruining his buzz. But my shoe went missing after I showed it to one person. I interviewed one suspect and was like Columbo. It's like another thing that bothers me here. It's like you knew when they had that left my car open and you saw the shoe and he was doing drugs. He's like throwing coke like Richard Belzer. He's now sober, so I can talk about it. But we were like trying to put it on a thing, and he's like, "Here's how Belzer does it." I was like, that seems like a guy who would take a shoe. He insists to this day that he didn't take the shoe, but I didn't interview any other suspects because I knew who it was that took the shoe. And Tom, if you're listening, just admit you took the shoe, and I'll move on. I'd like to.
Man, if we could get Tom Rhodes to subscribe to the Patreon, that would be a real cool.
Yeah, maybe Rhodes and me can go down to Coke Heel to get my other shoes and just kind of let.
Yeah, he has a knack for sniffing out shoes, right?
He's in Oregon too. I think he lives in Oregon now. So if we can get I'll send him a clip. Say, let's do this together. Because you took the right shoe and you were doing it either to fuck with me or
you always knew this phone call was coming, Tom.
Yeah.
You owe me.
I have a picture.
I need you right now.
I have
We're
a
going to
picture when
Coquille
Rhodes
Market.
was
I don't have his current number. I just looked it up. I got an
Okay.
international number, so
I have
I would have
I
loved
have
to have looped him in here.
yeah, I have a picture where me and Rhodes look like detectives. He was in Salem, and where he had a gig, and then there was like a vintage convertible car, and we leaned on it for a picture. But that's the kind of that could be a show. Like, you know, he used to steal shoes to bum people out and ruin. I think what happened was he ruined my buzz, and he now, you know, years later he said I ruined his buzz. Well, you know what ruins a buzz is lying, Tom. Lying to yourself years later when, you know, I think he's afraid that if he admits he took my shoe, he's got to admit to taking Stanhope's camera in San Francisco, and then everybody else is going to start
Again,
me
a
too
whole
and him.
thing.
Yeah.
Ah,
He's a
shit, this one didn't come out.
kleptomaniac.
He was definitely a suspect in a camera that went
Yeah.
missing.
If I was defending Tom Rhodes in court, I would bring up the long history of the plaintiff, Mr. Andrus, being in the desert, high on drugs and losing things. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that the shoe was somehow lost just in the revelry of the weekend. People were on hallucinogenic drugs and cocaine. A lot of people in and out of a lot of people had access. A lot of people had access to the shoes,
Yeah.
and
Well, I think a lot of
even Andy's story that he only showed the shoes to one person is suspicious to me. I
Yeah,
don't
that
find
would
that
bring
credible.
that up.
But look at Rhodes has his arm around Glenn Wool, but not me, because he knows that you know what he did to me.
Andy, you look like the most fucked up guy of the bunch.
Well, that night, because I was hanging
It
out with a
does-
guy who took my shoe.
Did you explain to Tom that you needed the shoes to do a
Yeah,
comedy special?
yeah.
Then he for sure stole one as a joke.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah,
it was. Is
He did do that.
uh,
He's
uh,
guilty of that, and
yeah,
that's
joke on wrong. Dateline. And the shoe wasn't the only thing that was missing. Also, some
Keith
cocaine
Morrison
was
voice.
missing.
And the shoe wasn't the only thing that was missing.
Yeah, I don't think he took it for his own use, because he would
Yeah,
have
he took it.
left one behind.
You didn't see. I didn't get from the story the
Yeah.
first time you showed him the shoes and all that. I didn't know that you explained to him that the shoes were a necessary component
Right.
of your comedy special.
And I needed those shoes because I didn't have a solid set list.
Maybe he just wanted you to push you a little bit harder to develop more things that weren't like prop related.
Well, and I wanted
Right?
him to stop using Cadence of Hedberg.
What if he
Well,
just thought
we all
it'd be
have our-
funnier in your special if you were only wearing one shoe?
Yeah. Oh, that might be it.
Yeah.
He was
He was
jelly.
helping you.
He was probably
Helping.
jelly. He was a lost dog at that trip. I think he grabbed onto that shoe to try to make friends, and it backfired. I don't know, but I know.
One of my best experiences in the desert was laying in the highway on mushrooms with Tom Rhodes, looking up at the sky. Which we've talked in the past about how dangerous it is to lie on a highway, even in the desert where people
that's
don't
the best
fly.
part.
But
That's the best part.
it was a pretty fucking magic time, and it was I don't think he was fish out of water. I thought
I
thought he
No,
handled
I
himself
didn't
well
think
out
so.
there.
Yeah, he did
Yeah,
okay.
well, did you get a chance to look at what he was wearing on his feet?
I didn't look at his shoes. We were looking at the
Okay,
stars.
yeah, right,
so-
yeah. He's
That was
probably
his whole plan,
he's
Shaley.
probably
He
out there
wanted to
in
get you looking up at the stars
Yeah.
so that you didn't notice that he was wearing
I didn't
stolen
notice someone
footwear.
untying my
Yeah.
shoes. That's
Uh-huh.
why I always wear Velcro in the desert, so I
Yeah.
can hear it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like, come on, man, you had a TV sitcom. You don't need my shoe. I was like, I was.
If you had special shoes that you needed to wear for stage in New York, why did you have them with you in Death Valley?
Because I went from Vegas to out to Newark or wherever the fuck it was.
It was happening right then.
Yeah. And that,
Okay.
it took me so long to find the shoe that I was late getting there. And, and I got there and I
It's
should
so
have.
dog ate my homework. I fucking love it.
Well, and then it started the bad roll because I got there and then I was in the lobby at this time, and they were going, "Oh, you need to come with us. We're all getting ready to go." And then I had to run my set, and then that's when they decided they didn't like my set. They're like, "Wait, you called me up because of the?" I didn't call them. They got a hold of me, and they left a message, and I thought I was being pranked. It's like HBO, and they wanted me, and I go, "Well, it was a female," and I go, "What was the thing that what was the bit that you guys heard?" And she said, it was and I go, "Rape Baby?" And she goes, "Yeah, it was the Rape Baby." So they brought me out there for that, and then when I ran my set, they're like, "Nope, nope, no, no," and then I was left with nothing.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so Rhodes.
And where are your shoes?
I had my shoes at that point.
Why, sir, are you wearing one shoe only?
One shoe.
Where did you find your shoe eventually?
In the back of my car after interrogating to a point of passing Tom Rhodes.
This story gets more Andy the more questions you ask.
Oh my God. I think you owe an apology to Tom Rhodes.
Andy,
Or he needs to fess up.
Car.
It was in the same spot it was, so it was
that sneaky son of a bitch put it right back.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It's the same position.
Because I was starting to creep. His joke was starting to ruin his buzz, so he put the shoe back, and then that's when I dropped the investigation. But I should have fingerprinted the shoe, taken it to the lab. But I had to get moving.
Wait, when did he put it back? How did he steal it in the desert and put it? Did he put it back when you were still in the desert?
These are all questions for Rhodes. Yeah.
But how did that make you late for your?
Eric's just trying to establish a timeline here.
How did you how were you late for the?
I wasn't because of the shoe. I was late because I took the Indians a bunch of stuff, and then
he just said it was because of the shoe. That's where you went wrong. That's why you thought it was.
I took a road trip, and then I missed the flight, and I got on the next one, and was I got there. Yeah, they were kind of waiting.
Wait. You cut the timing of doing a taping for HBO so close to doing Drugs in Death Valley that you missed one plane and you were late for the thing you were supposed to do on HBO?
And then got mad at them because they didn't want him to do it.
This was like I got there a day or two before we did the taping, but when I got there in the lobby, they were like, "Oh, we're going to," they took all the out-of-towners to run their sets. And they took all my shit away, and then I had to rework it. I gave my CD to Steinberg. David Steinberg was the head producer, and Mason, his kid Mason. And Mason said, he called me up and goes, "Me and my dad are listening to your thing, and we love it, or it's funny." And then they suggested I build off that military bit about tweakers or whatever. And so I built my whole set for the HBO around that. The head producer telling me this is what you should do, and then they pulled me off of it. I didn't air on HBO because you
needed a manager right then, because you needed a manager to tell them to fuck off and to tell you to do what you were doing. And if you'd have had someone, honestly, Andy, if you'd had someone, because that I'm sure that you didn't know what to do. I wouldn't have known what to do.
No, I was in a panic. I called Stanhope, and he helped. I pieced together a set. Like I went to a strip club the night before taping with Rouse, and we were doing coke, and I was like, I gotta go get my set together.
Prepping for the show.
yeah, but
so you broke off doing coke with Rouse.
Yeah.
To go work on your set. So you really did put in the due diligence.
Yeah.
Rouse goes,
not until the coke was gone, but I mean that's beside the point.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to stay awake for the evening, but Rouse goes, "Fuck them, just put the rape bit at the end. That way they can cut it out if they want." But he was right. But what happened is the president or the guy in charge of that show on HBO, he's also the Deadwood guy, all the cool shows, The Wire. He decided to take in some boxing there at the MGM Grand. And the lady he was with might have said the wrong thing, or I don't know. I wasn't there, but he punched her in the face on camera, and he got removed from HBO. And then a bunch of people scrambled to take over. The guy who took over his position in charge of that comedy show was the guy who won awards for Band of Brothers, and he was a military, military guy. So my first thing that the head producers like build around the military stuff, and then I go, hey, you guys support the troops and send them amputee porn, I says, and that probably as far as that guy got before I was the one cut out of the show. They said when we got there would be like, one or two people that wouldn't be on, and that I did exactly what they asked. And then because some chick wouldn't leave her boyfriend alone, or however it went down, if that guy hadn't punched his girlfriend, I would have been on HBO with that stuff. That's how I figure. And Rhodes didn't help by taking my shoe. That's the down and dirty on the down and dirty.
You really would have helped you though if you would have had a Brian Hennigan at that moment. Brian Hennigan would have said to the people at HBO, "Fuck you. He's doing the set that you hired him to do."
Did we get the puppet? Oh, he's not doing it, sir. Yeah,
no, he's doing the set that you hired him to do. No. And that would have been the end of it.
Yeah,
then he would have turned to you and bolstered your confidence.
I was under duress the whole time from that thing, and then they But I got done with that set, and Artie Lang goes, "Oh, that set took balls," or he come up, and then he is the first guy I ran into. So I was like, "Oh man, it went better than it felt," or whatever. And then Mace or Steinberg, Daddy Steinberg, he was Robin Williams' manager for years. Anyway, he goes to me and Jim Jeffries, he goes, "You two just had the kind of sets that are going to change your life." And then cut to, I see the shows coming out, and then I see the lineup that I was on, only I'm not in the lineup anymore. I forget who they replaced me with. So it was so I got the call from Mason Steinberg, who said, "Yeah, man, I'm really bummed that they cut you out of the show." He goes, "I can't believe that, the network of The Wire and all that shit." It's like, and I got fucking wine drunk, and I threw a bottle down the street below, and fucking woe is me, and I was fucking pissed off, and I'm still kind of pissed about that. Where's my Hennigan? I need me. Maybe I'll go to Scotland and find one. Just find my own. I don't need the, It's like there's got to be a lot of people named Hennigan in Scotland.
Well, Hennigan's good at being Hennigan because his deal is and has always been that he will only have one client. So, we do each have to find our own Hennigan.
Well, I got David or Josh Rosenberg, who's my
right. Good for you. He should do good work for you. I don't mean to assume his gender. They will do good work for you.
Yeah. Well, his pronouns are. I won't even go there.
It sucks when you start a joke without an end, and then you get to the part where you put that in, and you're like, I don't know.
And you don't, if you call up the message right now, I mean, he sounds a little bit like me trying to sound Jewish. So I think he's gonna have to change that message up.
Hey Andy, was this the HBO Down and Dirty?
Yeah, Down and Dirty with Norton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, it's never a good sign, Andy, when you get off stage and they compliment your courage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's when you know you bombed.
Especially from Artie Lang.
Yeah. I mean, it might be true. It's happened to me where I felt like I said some good things, but I thought I did better than I did. But when they're like, "Oh man, wow, brave set, bro. I can't, you're out there doing it." That means you ate shit.
Yeah. Well, and then, if they would have put me on the air, it would have been edited down. So I just got it and then put it all up. So it would have, like if you watch that, just trim out all the fat or whatever. But I actually, in spite of all the shit, I was like, I scrambled to make that a cohesive set. And I don't know if it was or anything, but I'm that material is better than if I would have done the Walmart, the oversized woman at Walmart. Well, overbreeding is a concern too. So,
no, but dude, we've established here, and I think you've grown as a performer even on this podcast, that the way to experience your thing is like a long stretch. You can't just go, hey, here's Andy for 5 minutes. If you can, but it's just, they shouldn't discourage you from just going up there and saying whatever you want to say, because it happens to be the way you Jackson Pollock diarrhea all over the fucking canvas. And if that's not what you want, that's fine. Hire a different painter. But you need more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and it's not necessarily going to be set up punchline. As we know, there were no punch lines.
There weren't any punch lines. I kept looking down at my feet to make sure my shoes were still with me. And
so is that why you need the shoes? Because that's what you're looking at while you're up there?
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, it was like, I was unfamiliar. I mean, it was like just a challenge to remember what I was trying to say. And man, that's the same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Yeah.
But those shoes are long gone.
Well, I hope you get your new shoes.
I do too.
The Mexico 66.
Yeah.
Those are sharp, man.
If I could just get those shoes, I could start comedy again.
Is that what you're waiting for?
We all wait with bated breath.
Shoes.
I don't even know how to get them.
They'll come to you. You just got to feel it, man. Green lights.
Green light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just think about the shoes, man. They'll come to you.
Dude, I'm only about 2 hours away from finishing the Matthew McConaughey Green Light book.
I can imagine it on Audible. I'm saving that for like Christmas for myself, so I can just be alone, lock myself in my room with a bottle of wine, just cuddle up with Matthew McConaughey for a couple hours. I just read it. I can't imagine hearing it in his voice. It's too much. I couldn't handle it.
Pretty good.
Is it like political
I started
aspirations?
listening to it before you talked about it, and was impressed that someone else I knew would actually even listen to it. I don't dare bring it up to Stanhope.
No, don't.
He'll ruin it.
He'll ruin it for me.
He ruined Todd. Well,
I'm on a good wave right now, man.
He tried to ruin Todd Snyder for me. He's like, you got to listen to this. I hate it. Turn it off. And then years later, he's like read his book. So I was like, what happened? Oh, he's on edibles now. Now he gets what a barefoot hippie with a cool vibe is all about.
I think Green Lights is a little bit. It's still a bridge too far.
No way. No way. Yeah.
McConaughey came out the opening game for Austin FC soccer team, the new MLS team. They just had our first home game here a couple weeks ago, and McConaughey.
What's the team name?
It's just Austin
FC.
McConaughey's. The Green Lights.
It should be. It's green and black are their colors. Verde.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, Verde. But this motherfucker came out in a green suit, and then he came out with a big drum and started fucking drumming on the fucking halfway line while the crowd went crazy at the beginning of the game. I'm telling you, man, this dude is living a life. Imagine being that guy. Like, you get to be the guy who walks out with the drum and plays the drum like a maniac, and the crowd goes crazy because you're part owner of the team and you're Matthew fucking McConaughey. You're not a drummer, you're just fucking living.
Oh, he's a drummer.
I know. If Castle Rock Kenny was a millionaire.
Right.
It's just fucking crazy shit.
Yeah. He's just a way better looking version of Castle Rock Kenny.
Not way better.
Have been like everything.
Slightly better looking.
Yeah, I mean.
All right, let's be honest.
That's between you and Kenny.
Yeah. Well, Kenny's probably more handsome than a lot of the. He's a Bisbee 4 or 5.
Kenny is a handsome guy.
But you put Kenny on a basketball court, and he, he's got game.
And Kenny's all lean muscle. He's a
yeah, you put Kenny at a 4 or 5 in Bisbee. Now I'm curious about the rest of your list. I want to know who's above. That's below.
No one's a 6. No one in Bisbee's even made it to a 6.
Yeah, no,
Stanhope-
there's
Stanhope-
That's
nothing
the
past
top.
a 6.
Yeah, the
because-
scale is lower.
It's on a scale to 10, but no one's been above 5.
Not yet, but I haven't.
It's graded
played
on a
it for while.
curve.
Well, no, Dave Rader's the 10.
Oh yeah. He's
I mean,
he's a ringer.
Joby and him, and then it's like,
he's from New York.
Right.
He doesn't even know what beef jerky is. He
Right.
has a very myopic view of the world, even though he's very educated.
well, Joby's a 10, but he's so depressed that it's like, this handsome guy's all frowny.
Yeah.
We haven't had a sighting of Joby in quite
Wow.
some time.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. He's
I-
making a lot of food for a friend of ours, but
Fury?
all we see is pictures of food. We don't see Joby. So
Uh-huh.
it's weird. Yeah, it's really
Huh.
weird.
But the food looks so delicious that Joby
Oh,
must
no,
have
he's
created
alive.
it. So
He's
it
somewhere.
proves that
Yeah.
he's there. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
He might be
It's like
doing
a
meal
newspaper
kits.
with today's date on it. Like nobody could have made this banana loaf but Joby.
What made him sad was he's just so handsome for that market. So it's like he gets all the attention and it's just too much. He's like, he just wants to be like Kenny. Maybe he should
So
do some
Joby is
ugly
envious
surgery.
of Kenny. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe he
Castle
should go
Rock?
get his teeth crooked. I get him. Get some
Hey
crooked
Doc, can I
teeth.
What
get
if-
my teeth crooked?
What if
Yeah.
we did a Joby and Castle Rock Kenny face off?
Yeah.
Like Nicolas Cage and Travolta, where they swap faces.
yeah.
And Castle Rock Kenny gets to go around with Joby's face.
Yeah. That'd
Just
take the pressure off
crushing.
of Joby.
Yeah, and then Joby could be a happy bread baker.
And man, Kenny's raps would be people like, man, those are some fresh raps. Are they? Because they suck
They're
to
the same ones.
the same raps.
I'm still rhyming Dayton with Gayton.
Oh man, I miss when Kenny gets geared up to do a show.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't.
Well, yeah.
He was hilarious at the last one. He was
Oh
all
my God,
nervous.
that was so bad.
He was.
When we-
he did.
When
That
we
was
turned
the best he's
karaoke on.
done.
Ugh.
Yeah. He's my favorite street rapper in all of Bisbee. I mean, in the Douglas area. Which is,
Yeah.
he's in Bisbee.
Well, he's old Bisbee. I'm
Mhm.
sure there are some young up and coming Warren rappers that are, a little bit more aggressive sounding. The beats are a little, tighter and harder.
I'm sure he's inspired a generation of high school dropouts to. I'm sure Kenny got his degree.
I don't know.
In what?
Yeah, I
What are we
didn't have a
talking
joke
about
for that either.
Yeah.
here?
Well, he didn't take his balling skills to the community level. At community college.
Kenny is deceptive when you see him because he's lanky and lean and he's had a rough, he had some rough years
Mhm.
and he's better now, but he had some rough years. So to look at him, you don't think you're like, this guy, but he's actually an athlete for sure. And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
good at shit.
Oh, totally.
He's just a broken down
Yeah.
version of it.
We
So
totally
he can
found
tap
like-
into that. He can tap into that skill set,
Mhm. Well, to be a rapper like that, you have to have kind of a tough go of it.
Right. That's
Yeah,
true.
there he is. Look at
There
that.
he
Yeah.
is. Look,
Yeah.
Yep. Eminem.
Jim
Kenny,
Croce.
Castle Rock.
I always thought Kenny looked like Jim
he
Croce.
does.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He looks like Jim Croce if Jim Croce grew up in the suburbs in the 80s.
Yeah. If you live
Like if
long
Jim
enough.
Croce played Pac-Man coming up instead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
time in a bottle.
If you live long enough, you will resemble a folk singer.
Yeah, I'm headed toward James Taylor for sure.
Oh man,
Yeah.
he was one of my favorites. Handyman.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna sing it.
Oh,
I
boy.
used to save it for my TikTok channel, which I signed up because the 800-pound gorilla sent me links to
yeah.
promote my thing, and I was like signed up for that, and I wasn't. There was like 4 or 5 other Andy Andrist on there, and so I'm Andy Andrus 1, and I don't have any content. But
There were 4 or 5 other Andy Andrus on there.
Yeah.
And Andy Andrus 1 wasn't
well, there was
taken.
different variations on there. So I think I'm Andy Andrus 1. But,
No, he's the word one. Whoa.
oh man,
No,
that
it's
would've been cool.
WON.
Well,
No,
I'm not asking people to follow me on there.
exclamation point.
But I-
And the end just one.
Fortunately, about a year ago, I learned a little something Brett Erickson taught me called copy and paste. So I had a fighting chance at promoting myself, but I don't know exactly how to get all the words on there. So sometimes I would repost what they wanted me to repost with half of the words and the link on there.
Oh, you copied and half pasted?
Yeah, well, half pasted and copied. But I joined TikTok just to paste, and I'm not sure I did there. And I don't think they knew how
if you
unsavvy
just join
I am.
TikTok to copy and paste a promotional link for your thing, it's not going to go out to anybody on TikTok because you don't have any TikTok followers.
Andy,
gotta
TikTok
dance.
is not for you.
I
Stop.
gotta dance. I can
Get
dance.
away.
I just gotta
No,
get
no.
super high on
This
mushrooms.
is not where you're gonna find people.
And now the
this is
Chinese
very
government has all your
irresponsible.
information.
It's
Oh,
very
shit.
irresponsible of the 800-pound gorilla, in my opinion, to have
think so,
you go on
too.
TikTok, because
Yes,
there's
I
a
think so.
strategy with TikTok that takes a sensibility that I don't think you are privy to.
Well, I've got an Asian boy band I'm starting, if that helps. But
Yeah.
It sounds like Josh
them
Rosenberg's working
to the
overtime
TikTok.
to me.
well, yeah. I'm getting him to switch from track athletes to just comedy and just me.
Uh-huh.
I want him to focus more on just me. But even when I sit down with the guy, he's like all over the place. Like, come on, man, focus,
He's
motherfucker.
asking you about steeplechase.
I'm
You're
looking
like,
at
I'm not one of those clients.
yeah.
Comedian.
I'm not one of those clients, but
Take a lap.
I wouldn't mind if we rep some steeplechase girls. A few of them. My neighbor's sister, for one. She's pretty fucking great.
I'd love to see my neighbor's sister steeplechase.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, she's one of the
Hey,
best.
it never said you couldn't covet thy neighbor's sister. Just
Yeah.
your neighbor. Sister's
She's
fair
got-
game, man.
She's got the powerful thighs that could end me. Like, I don't want to have sex. Just put my head between your legs and
Yeah.
crush my fucking head as a training thing. That's what
Right.
Josh Rosenberg's workouts are like. Pop the peanut. Pop this guy's peanut.
Well, if you do end up ever going out, that would be a good way to go out.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
between the thighs of a large female. I know that's always been a thing. That you've been.
But her thighs, I saw her. She was at this. I went to this store in the mall, it's a running store. Hey, I got this. Prefontaine. I go to a bar where Prefontaine worked. He was a bartender, but he was also in a suspicious car accident where alcohol might have been involved. And his life now, well, he's dead, but they got this bar has his image.
The runner,
on cups.
Prefontaine.
Yeah, Steve Prefontaine. There, you get pint glasses with his image on them. I was like, that's like the guy died in a drunk driving mishap. Do you really want that? But they do. And but anyway, I went to this running store, and there was I just seen her from the deck, and she walked up to the car, so I knew her face, and there was Colleen. Oh, well, anyway, I won't tell you her last name, but there was Colleen, and she had shorts on. That's how I know her fucking thighs are out of this world, powerful fucking thighs. And I had my sunglasses on, so it wasn't obvious I was, checking her out for purposes of just to tell my agent, it's like, hey man, you might want to sign her. Look at her thighs, bro. But I think they were TikToking or they were doing something where they're at and so I didn't want to interrupt and say, I'm
Nice
with the
thighs?
agency. Yeah. Like, do you think you could? How much pressure do you think you could? Could you crush a coconut with those? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. It's like I would
selfie with your thighs.
Yeah,
wouldn't
she's
resist.
amazing.
I wouldn't resist at all. I'd just be like, come on, do it. Come on,
Yeah.
God damn it. I'd be egging them on, like fucking crush that head.
That's what I'm saying. That's a way to go. That would be a great way to go.
Right. You're not suffocating. It's just like, and then, yeah.
Being
I'm
loved
Instead
to death.
Well, I would hope that love's not in their heart.
Well, I mean, for you,
I
it's
want
for
her
you.
to. I mean, yeah, this is what I want my talent agency to focus on: is set up a business where former track athletes crush the heads of pervs. Win-win. I don't know. I didn't know. Yeah, Shaylee's great. Shaylee's on the. He's like the light show at a hippie concert. You don't maybe notice him on stage, but it's like bang, man. You're
Yeah.
like tripping to the lights.
Doing his work.
Yeah. You can't have a good hippie jam band without a light man. It's because of the
Absolutely.
drugs. I don't like to call them drugs. I like to call them windows into your psyche. But
I was going to
Well,
talk about
drugs at a hippie show are like or a jam band. It's like the fifth Beatle. They're behind the scenes, but they're very instrumental in what's happening.
Yeah, necessary. Otherwise, why bother?
Yeah, just wait in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, I go to music festivals. If you had to do them sober, it would just be a complete nightmare. Why would you subject yourself to days of being dirty and smelly and hot or wet or hot and wet? And
Can't wait.
Also sober? No way.
Oh,
If you're going to be sober in the air conditioning at home on the couch.
You can listen to the music at home, but you can't experience it sober.
Music requires enhancements.
It's like going to a Star Wars movie. It's like, fuck, man, if you go sober, it's like, goddamn, this dialogue's clunky.
Right.
You get fucked up, and it's like, goddamn, that Chewbacca's cool as shit. Like to hang out with Chewbacca.
I don't think it's the same. I really don't. I think there's some classic elements and there's some innocence with Star Wars. The first 4, 5, and 6. Sorry.
Yeah, but there was that one where it was just fucking. It was as bad as a Prefontaine movie I starred in. The dialogue. I didn't star in it, but I was an extra. But the
scene. Are you talking about the recent Star Wars movies, though?
Yeah, not the most.
No, he's talking about 1, 2, or 3.
Anakin who went from being 5 years old. Yeah, he was like 5 years old, and then all of a sudden he's dating the Natalie Portman. It's like the fuck, man. He went, It's like she was sexualizing the kid, and he grew up fast. I know how that works. And but it was just like stupid.
Walking around with one shoe.
Yeah, one shoe, fucking muddy motherfucker. What is she? Is she a professional? She doesn't look like she's a track athlete. She looks like she does some sort of.
Oh, that isn't the girl you were talking about, Andy? I thought that was the girl you were talking about.
No. She was one of the. She was one of the top steeplechasers in the country, and all of them are babes. But she got injured right before the trials, cracking some guy's skull. Doing some
she Gallaghered some motherfucker.
Yeah, they just call those crunches in the steeplechasing world. Like, hey man, can I give you $500 to crush my skull? And they're like, hey, they haven't actually burst a head yet, but it's like you walk around, your ears hurt, and you're like, God damn, that was good.
Feels good, man. Everybody wants to be squeezed,
Mm-hmm.
There's comfort in it.
It's sort of like an Andy Kaufman kind of a thing. You just want to, wrestle or. I've done that.
You've talked about it. You like playing football with women.
Yeah,
tackle you hard.
But, Damon Schritter's girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. She took you down. You went for the cut, but she didn't buy your hip fake and planted your ass.
I think part of this made was Stanhope's book, but there was a lady who insisted on wrestling me at an improv in West Palm, I think it was, and we went Greco style. Like I thought
Richard.
It was like I didn't do well in PE classes, but I got the gist of it, and I won that match.
Wait, she insisted on it, or you?
Egged her on? It wasn't the dude who was there with her.
What's Greco style?
That's where you get down. And then the other person's
one person. The first person gets down on all fours.
Yeah.
And then the other person has one arm like up near the throat, and then another arm around the belly.
Very homoerotic. One on the arm.
Yeah, but it was
arm. That's right. Yeah,
but it can be homoerotic, or you can go the other way, and that's how I did it. But in PE class, I had to wrestle, And Mr. Patterson didn't care for me, and he put the kids that I fucking knew how to wrestle, and they're stinky, and I got fucking pinned down like I pinned this lady at the bar. But that's my two experiences in wrestling.
You're doing that to women at a bar?
It was her idea.
Yeah, and her boyfriend,
insisted.
her boyfriend was not being like, he didn't want that to happen or any of the rest of it. But I didn't have a cape on, and it was legit wrestling. That's all I can say about that. That's all.
And they also made you wrestle in PE class in school.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's creepy too, because we never wrestled. You had to go out for wrestling.
Right. Yeah. Well, Mr.
No,
Patterson
I think in some schools they would introduce it and then just see who was like rose up above, you know. There would be, because I remember having to do it, and I never went out for any sports.
I've talked about Don Patterson before. He was a masochist, and he didn't like the popular kids, so he'd fucking grind us. And he got physical with me on more than one occasion. He'd swat you with his fucking big swatter, and his favorite. Well, we would have this one game we'd call scatterball, and he'd go, Friday we playing scatterball, and it was like you'd people line up on both sides of the gym. He'd blow the whistle and you would run out, and it was like a free range prison ball. And he had a couple of underinflated balls where you could just physically assault people with
those
them.
hurt.
Yeah, and that's what he wanted. He wanted to see bounce.
That. Right.
Yeah, and all the
big red welts.
Yeah, everybody would line up and try to get to the deflated blue balls and just start beating them. But it was like Lord of the Flies on Friday, and that was gentleman's choice. And what do you want to play? And there would be like, well, how about basketball? And he goes, scatterball it is. Yeah, he was an old school fucking douchebag.
But dude, we played that. We called it bombardment.
Oh, really? So
that's
it was
what we called it.
I thought it was
line the balls up in the middle of the gym, and each team was on each end. And you'd blow the whistle, and you'd run to the center and grab the balls, and you'd scatter back, and then you'd just bomb them at each other. And if they hit you, you were out. And if you caught it, the guy who threw it was out.
Yeah.
That was just dodgeball.
Yeah, well, dodgeball, I think originally was like a circle, but yeah, we called it bombardment.
And then prison ball.
And it was the greatest. It was when you got to, because the only days we got to play bombardment in middle school were the days that the girls got taken out of PE class because they had to go learn about their periods. So the boys were by themselves, and that's when we played bombardment.
Scatterball would have made them bleed right there on the spot.
I think, hey, Chad, I think what it is I grew up in Southern California. You grew up in Arizona. Erickson was in Midwest. So they had more. We never went indoors. When it was indoors, we were going to get a sawdust check.
No, it was indoors. We were
it's
indoors.
Like Hellman's mayonnaise. It's called something different on the other side. We didn't have the ladies for that one. We had them for football, which I talked about that. The long count with Sarah. It was like, hike the ball. But we had to do the square dance, and that's when that was the first time we did that. We had to go promenade, and I didn't realize at the time how racist and weird the square dancing world is. But
that's because you were focused on how awkward and terrible everybody felt having to do it, and having
were you in high school
being
for that,
forced.
Andy?
Middle school.
Because I think we did that in elementary school.
Yeah,
I remember doing that.
Junior high.
And then we had to play the xylophone, and we had to do square dancing.
I think it was it the xylophone or the zither?
Actually, I think it was high school, early, like freshman year, that we did the square dancing, because I don't think we mixed with the ladies in Don Patterson's class. He wouldn't have cared for that. But I know they in high school, when we had Mr. Vleck, who was another old school fucking dude, who he kept standings for our football and everything, and then my team we'd purposely lose. We were the Houston Oilers or whatever, and we were always punting. It was like first down, squib kick,
like a Steve Martin bit.
Yeah, he hated that we didn't put any effort into winning. Looks like the Oilers got another loss. Well, we've accepted it.
We're going for a good draft choice.
Yeah.
We're tanking the season.
This is a building year.
This is strategy beyond you, Mr. Black. You're not even thinking this through. We're freshmen, but by senior year, we're going to be fucking first place.
Remember the Houston Oilers when they were their playoff run and they had a song, and we took that song and we were the cheap shot Oilers, number none. That was our thing. We was like, if we even came close to winning, we'd like, we'd throw the ball directly to somebody and let them go. It's like, how did Alma Hudson get a 95-yard return for a touchdown? She was a tiny girl, but I give her shit. Like, I wasn't a bully or anything, but I get Alma riled up like we get James Inman riled up, and she'd go, shut up. And then she'd get up and kick me in the shins. And I fucking loved it. I loved every minute of it. It's kicked me in the
learning so much about you.
Yeah. She was one of my favorite. Well, I don't think she would feel the same way, but she would smile. She'd go, "Shut up," and she'd give me the kick. It was like Little House on the Prairie, kind of fun. Fucking
Nelly.
Yeah, and plus she wore long.
It's all
dresses.
fun when you're being the bully. It's like, just getting around. I
think she might have been Amish. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't a bully, but I like to have fun. Oh God.
Oh, revelation time.
This is like that moment on the QAnon conspiracy when the dude accidentally gave it up.
Oh man.
Dude, we all were assholes. We were all assholes. We were all either being picked on or being the person doing the picking on. That's all childhood is. So you can't beat yourself up, but recognize when it was you doing it.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, everybody's got somebody.
You're calling somebody else a faggot. They're not looking at you going, hey, wait a minute.
Also, you're holding it as a standard to a more, now we're in a more enlightened time. Kids now don't act the fucking same way we did because they're not as, shit just changes like that.
And if they do, they get called out on the internet.
Yes.
They get canceled.
You can't act like that anymore.
Yeah, I would have been canceled on a Tuesday. Yeah, there's a girl I dubbed the cunt of the year in 1984, and she don't know. Anyway, she came up to me at the class reunion and gave me a bunch of shit, and I go, well, congratulations, you're cunt of the decade. And I don't know if that's true. I didn't stuff the ballot box, or I don't control the election, and but I remembered it, and she was like, she was. I guess I was an asshole to her.
You called her cunt of the year in high school?
Yeah, but she was a in your face rally girl, and I guess I didn't like her.
And then she brought it up to you at the reunion.
Yeah.
Was she just being like fun, like, oh yeah, I remember you.
No, she was giving me shit. Well, it was a very small school, so she wasn't like,
double down a bit. That's just commitment to a bit.
Yeah. But I didn't, if I ever see her again, it'll be like, hey, 2 decades running.
Wow.
She's in the Sawdust Theater in Coquille, so she's an actress in the old school bullshit production. I would like, because they encourage you to like boo and hiss and stupid shit, like you heckle at the gay 90s. So I could go to a gay 90s thing and heckle her with
you could hiss her.
Yeah, hiss her. But I would have to sit through the production.
Yeah. Well, you might have time. You can pop down there on a shoe.
Go get my shoes.
Maybe you have a couple hours to kill in the afternoon. Yeah. Pop over to the Sawdust
it's the only thing in Coquille is the Sawdust Theater is like, that's the big production. People go for miles around to go see the Sawdust Theater because people in Coquille are fucking stupid and boring, dumb entertainment is right up their alley, and they invite their relatives to go to it.
Yeah.
No,
so keep a coin from this current year in your pocket when you go back. That way, when you're back, you can know that it was real.
I'm taking a sports almanac. I'm gonna go get a sports almanac.
When it's in your dungarees, you can be like, it was real.
Yeah. If I grab a sports almanac on my way back, I can change the course of everything.
Maybe that's what's already happened.
I'll buy the shoe factory.
Yeah.
Maybe it's me that's making them more
You'll
expensive.
invent
Mm.
hula hoops, dude.
Yeah, the slinky. Those were never fun, and my brothers hit me in the face with them, so I'm not a big slinky guy.
Yeah. Never was into it.
Yeah.
That was our generation's lesson into it looks better on TV.
You know what? You know
Like,
what?
they made that shit look great. It actually did walk downstairs.
Yeah,
and then-
remember that ad? They walk
can't make it
downstairs
actually
alone
do
or in
that.
pairs. You know who else
Yeah.
does that? Drunks. That's it.
It didn't
Slinkies
take
and
me very
drunks.
long to realize nobody I knew had stairs. There was,
You were in a mobile home.
yeah, there was not
It
stairs
walks
anywhere.
downstairs
Yeah.
alone or in pairs. Mom, what are stairs?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Here, just play with your Stretch Armstrong, but I don't have any friends.
I need
What kind of-
another person to
Yeah.
stretch it with.
Yeah, I had me a Stretch
Oh.
Armstrong who tried hanging out with the gyms, but they didn't. They're like, and we're all good looking, and at least we're over 5 foot tall. Get the fuck out of here, Stretch.
Wrong scale too. Stretch Armstrong was much
Yes.
bigger.
Well, he could be.
I mean, bigger and only getting bigger
Hmm.
than
I
big Jim was
accidentally,
small.
I
Yeah.
left my Stretch Armstrong on the back, like behind the seat, like in the back windshield area of the car
Uh-oh.
one day, and my mom drove to Phoenix, and I got in trouble for that mess.
Too bad I didn't have one of those when I could drive. It's like, put Stretch on the back of somebody's trailer hitch, attach him to another trailer hitch, and drive in opposite direction. I could do. Let's.
He just ends up pulling off the axles off of both of the vehicles.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, stretch.
Wow, these things
Yeah, look at that guy.
Yeah,
That's the ultimate dumb toy.
yeah. It's also a great allegory for life.
Hmm. How so?
You know, just getting pulled all the time.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
all different directions
Yeah,
until you
yeah.
feel like you're
I
gonna
put-
come apart.
Somebody
What
gives
do you
me a
mean? What?
somebody
In
gives
tight
me-
underwear.
My
In
bank
tight
is right
underwear.
I got
And, your
it.
dick, yeah, and you wish your dick made a bigger bulge.
We got a
The
cool,
same story over and over again.
cool
Cold out.
donation that says celebrate, and then a bank saying, "Oh, you're over the limit here. Now we can take that money from you." Yep.
Yeah.
God
We've
damn
been
it.
waiting for you to get $200 so we could take it.
I'm Stretch Andrist.
You understand?
I got them kind of panties.
Well, hopefully some more sales from Last
There you
Shot will come.
Oh shit.
See?
Yeah.
That kind of hurt me a little bit when I saw that. I really liked Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch vagina now.
Only Andy.
Yeah.
That's how they came up with the idea for pocket pussies.
Some guy chest fucked a Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, you know it happened.
I
You know
mean,
it happened.
Hey, I'm getting ideas
you'd
for
have to be
TikTok
able to go
already.
like down its leg or something, like because it's no chest, it's not deep through the chest. I don't even understand how this would happen.
It's a power move, Chad. It's about looking,
I
stretching
guess.
the eyes
Yeah.
while you're doing it.
It's
Yeah,
control.
kids have more access to a
Doesn't
blade
actually
and a
feel
Stretch
good.
Armstrong.
You're just a flesh slinky, bro.
Sorry, I don't understand any of this.
Not about how it feels, actually.
We might have to put a
Oh.
trigger warning on the end of this one.
Oh man.
Yeah, we'll see if we'll actually get a lot more Patreon subs or a lot fewer.
I'd like to dedicate this part of the show to Donald Rumsfeld, who's arriving in the gates of heaven right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully Cheney will be going pretty quick.
Hopefully Bill Cosby will be right fucking after him. I hope
I
he
was
gets
gonna
hit by
say,
a
we're-
bus on the way home. That fucking rapist.
When we
Fuck
started
yeah.
this, I thought, how awesome would it be that he got like a massive like car pileup, like leaving the prison, or I don't want to.
How about this? Bruce
poor
Jenner
taste
runs over him.
to hope death on anyone?
Yeah. Bruce, Caitlyn Jenner runs
Caitlyn,
over
yeah,
him while they're both on their way to a fundraiser for Caitlyn's run for governor in California. That would be perfect.
awesome. Yeah.
I pray. I'm an atheist, but I still pray in case
I'm
there is a God.
I'm sorry. I still called John Cougar, John Cougar. it's Mellencamp. And I still called Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, because I grew up with Bruce Jenner on the box of Wheaties and all that shit, and it's just hard for me to get to know this new bitch that he is. Wow, all her political ideas are real cunty. I don't even think that's possible, but yeah.
That's a perfect place to stop, and we'll pick it up there next week. We fucking love you guys.
Next Bat Channel or same
Pick
Bat
up
Channel.
go get yourself Andy Andrus Last Shot if you haven't yet. I'm sure most of you have your Patreon subs. You get it.
And there's
it's
another
fantastic.
release this Friday. 800-pound
Today?
gorilla. Yeah, today, and they put they'll watch the clip. It's cool. It's kind of like an animated version of a part of a bit called what did I name it? Reverse Rapture. So look for that today, right now.
Fantastic. Well done, and thanks to everybody who jumped on the live Zoom. And if you were there, thanks for being there. That was a lot of fun. Paul was great. A bunch of other comics were there.
Well, Hack Oddity
was there. Hack Oddity was there. Carlos Valencia, Sandro Iocolano, who we didn't get on, who I feel bad about not getting on. And I don't think we ever heard from Augie either.
Yeah,
he was there, but I think he was just hanging.
It was hard to get. It was kind of a bit of a mess on some of that. We should have gotten more of those guys on, and I apologize to those guys, but they're fucking great.
I wanted to hear from Sandro, and also
the thing about Sandro is legitimately a Patreon subscriber. He came to the desert with us last fall and has signed up, and now talks to me about past episodes in a way that is insane.
Really?
So I love that guy already, but
yeah,
really should have had him on because he is he's well versed in the issues with Andy Universe, and that still surprises me, and I am touched and amazed whenever it happens. So to all of you guys out there who are out there, thank you for that, because it really is something. We're happy to do it. I'm happy that this fucker and these other guys are here.
Besides getting new shoes in the mail, I can't think of anything that I enjoy more than our subscribers.
Dude, if ordering a pair of fucking shoes on the internet can get us 2 hours worth of content, then we will never run out.
Yeah, that may be the case.
So
I'm going to keep ordering them until they get here. All right, then.
That's not the way to do that.
Do it. Order them again.
What can my bank do? Take the other two? I don't have any more. I have $4 in there now. I took the rest of it out because I don't trust them anymore. I'm stuffing it under my mattress.
Don't sign up for anything, brother.
Hey,
don't sign up.
Can I plug something?
Yes.
Real quick? I do this ridiculous thing with John Norris and Matt Collins up in Alaska. Mixtape Time Machine, and our new season of 1980 is out, and we've got Brett Erickson is a guest on it when he was up in Alaska.
Look, Sam Talent may have landed the headliner role at the Alaska Before You Die Festival, but he was nowhere near this Mixtape Time Machine podcast, which I was asked to do. So it felt nice. It felt nice, and thank you for having me on. I was honored. It was a good time. It really is a lot of fun. Matt is very funny. John Norris is extremely funny. To hear them arguing about songs that neither of them have heard or grew up listening to is hilarious.
And the end result is I get to just decide.
And then Shaylee gets to pick which.
I could just go. I just don't like the guy. The guy was wearing one shoe. I don't like that. So I'm picking the other band. It's fucking awesome.
And John and Matt actually spend actual time preparing a defense of the song that they've been assigned, and they speak its virtues and they debate against the obvious crap of the other song. And then Shaylee decides based on whatever he already decided.
Based on my recollection of 1980 when I was 13 years old. It's fucking
It is a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot, and it's on Apple Podcasts and Podbean and a bunch of other stuff. So check it out. We have fun doing it, and we're copyright infringement all over the motherfucking place on that thing because we're playing clips. So thanks a lot, Brett, for doing that.
It was fun. Right on.
Chad over on the Twitch.
Yeah, let's do the plugs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
again, it feels
Yeah.
dumb doing them. Everybody knows. Everybody at the end of a 2-hour Patreon podcast knows about Chad's Twitch, but I guess it doesn't hurt to remind.
Way to shit on it, man.
Well, all
Easy,
of
bro.
the plugs. Well, I mean, all of the plugs. I think Mixtape Time Machine
Hello.
is still kind of new to everybody.
Very
But
new.
so I mean, maybe there are Patreon subscribers who don't know about Chad's Twitch channel. So get over
Or
that.
maybe they just forgot to resubscribe for free.
That's the thing. Is the
Yeah.
resubscription thing. I'm
Okay.
doing it right after I get off this podcast.
You're right. I'm sorry. That's the edible and the wine talking.
Oh,
Getting sloppy.
Is that what McConaughey tells you to do? Come on, man.
I'm getting. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was a bit of a yellow light. I gotta fucking shift back down into another gear. Start feeling that green, baby.
Yeah.
All right. We love you guys. Thanks for being
Later, guys.
with me and all the rest of you out there.
Peace.